Hi, I'm Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles Podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Hi, yes, it's me again. I'm on my 13th hour of driving, or 14th to be honest. No, is it 13th? Yeah, 13th. But anyway, I've got a lovely lady in the car. She's called Prish, and she's the head of LBTIQ. I'm probably saying it wrong. But anyway, she's going to tell us all about how she manages what she does. Hi, Prish.
Hi. I'm the trustee of an LGBTIQA plus activist group. So the rights of gay people and trans people, I advocate for them in solidarity with them all over the world and in the UK. So we have a group of a few members, and it's just a few people in their 20s, spare time, whatever we can offer. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a mixture of social media and education, and then real life rallies and fundraising and things for groups.
So what made you want to get into that?
I realised just how much progress still needs to be done for queer people, for LGBT people. I know so many people who still get harassed daily on the streets just for being who they are, get beaten up.
Really?
Yeah, in London.
I never heard of that.
In London. And then beyond that, in Poland, for example, at the moment, there are whole regions that have been claimed as LGBT free, so people can't show that they're gay there. There can't be any pride protests. They're arresting people for peaceful protests. In Hungary, they've just passed a whole bill that bans trans people from identifying as their real gender. People are being murdered and put in prison all over the world just for loving who they love, or for saying that they are who they are because other people don't like it, and that's just wrong. So I thought, if I have the time and the energy, I should put it towards helping people and just using what I have to offer to support them.
Okay. Do you so have you been doing this for long?
About 2 years now. Started it after London Pride 2018, and basically 2 years now.
Are you in that club because you're part of the people, as in you believe, or is it just you're supporting them?
No, I'm a member of the LGBT community, and I'm bi.
Okay.
And I think that actually I just want to support my friends and also just the wider community and do what I can.
Okay. So how do you go about making change?
It's a good question. It's a long process to make real change because so much is not even things that you can actively target. So much of it is just people's mindsets and lack of education and sort of lack of awareness of what's going on. You just said you didn't know that this stuff still happened in London, but I have a lot of friends that still get stuff shouted at them, literally just going in the tube on a daily basis, get harassed, and that's the kind of bottom line of it. There are so many levels to what's happening around the world. So really, I think education is a massive thing that helps. I think a lot of hate comes from fear.
When you say education, for somebody might say, well, I
I don't see it's a thing of educated. I say that the fact that you feel that I'm uneducated as an insult. So is there a way that you could, because you're trying to change people's mindsets, and if you're going to change somebody's mindset, you need to do it on a level playing field. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
But if you use words along that line where they're not educated or they're small-minded or what have you, then they're like, well, no, I believe what I believe and I have a right to believe what I believe.
But none of us are born knowing everything about everyone in the world. Like, all of us have things that we still need to learn and have as part of our education. Maybe awareness is a better word to use, better term to use than education. Maybe it's a sort of increased awareness of people's experiences who are different from you around the world, or perhaps an awareness of what human diversity looks like in terms of gender and sexuality. But it is also education, because the kind of biology that we learn at school is very, very limited. It's very basic, and it's also built on a very archaic system of prescribing just two sexes and genders and putting everything in that box, even though actually and I know this because I'm a biologist, I study biology at university. There are a wide range of different factors in everyone's bodies that determine their sex and their gender. So the way we learn biology, and this is education, and this is the education system, it's failing people by simplifying it so much that it actually erases the existence of certain people.
So you're saying there's not just man and women, there's something else? Is that what you're saying?
There are people who don't identify with the concepts of man and woman in terms of how gender is presenting it to them, how society has created a man and a woman should look and feel and act like. And there are also people who have there are people who are intersex, so they have different combinations of genitals and like chromosomes and hormones, where they get prescribed a sex at birth that doesn't actually match up to their internal combinations, because there are so many different things that play a part in your actual gender and your actual sex. So it's not just one thing.
So what I'm trying to understand is, are you saying that if you look at a newborn baby, if it's got genitalia of a woman or genitalia of a man, it's not actually a man, or not actually a male, or it's not actually a female? Is that what you're saying?
You can't necessarily know. I mean, I think female and male is a slightly different concept, and sex and gender are different things, but you can't say that someone who has the genitalia that has so far been associated with men is going to be a man or is a man.
No, I mean
at birth.
No, I mean, so when they're born, they've got the organs of a male.
Yeah.
And you're saying they're not a male. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you know they're going to be a man.
Sorry?
You don't know that they're a man.
What do you mean? They're male.
They have male external genitalia.
Yes.
But they might have different internal hormones, different internal chromosomes, and they might also just have a different gender to man.
You're confusing.
Well,
me
the
very
way
much.
Society interacts with so gender and sex are different things, in that your sex is the kind of biological sex, but gender is a slightly different thing. Gender is what society has told people they need to fit with if they have a biological sex of a certain.
So you're saying I always saw gender as if you got a cock, you're a man, or male, and if you got a slit, you're a woman. Not trying to be too vulgar. So why you're confusing me, because you're saying, and I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
You're saying something that just it's not computed in my brain. I'm trying to understand.
No,
what you're
I'm trying to explain it, and I think it's very difficult, especially for me, because I haven't had this experience. Like, I think I'm female, and I don't like feel like I'm not, but I don't necessarily associate with myself with what society thinks a woman should be, of what a woman should look like, or what a woman should act like.
Should that matter what society would think?
Well, it does affect our lives. It affects people. It affects how people see themselves and how they see themselves fit into society.
Okay. All right. Well, we've run out of time here. It was an interesting insight into how the other people see things.
Yeah. It's a very short period of time to get into any.
To get to anything. But it was interesting. But I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest. But it was interesting. But thanks for that interview.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
We hoped you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.